Well, guys, I've been playing Rust for a very long time. This last about a month of playing, I've just really been struggling to have a wipe that I've been satisfied with. And maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe I'm burnt out and I need a break or something. But something I've just been noticing is Rust progression just really needs an update. And a lot of this game really needs an update. I think that adding all of this crazy content, like the jungle and stuff, looks cool on paper, and it was really impressive to see the jungle. But correct me if I'm wrong, it's been almost less than a month. It's been a little bit more than a month, and jungle is the hype is kind of dead already. No, I feel like the hype of the jungle died within 2 weeks, even though it was the biggest content patch Rust has seen in a long time. So correct me if I'm wrong there, guys, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right there. I've asked around with other people, and they agree, at least people in my circle. You know, the reason why I'm doing this with you guys is because most of you play Rust or at least watch Rust, right? And so I know that it would be better to ask you guys as well and get kind of an idea from chat. You know, chat is notoriously great to ask questions. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're basically talking about Rust and just kind of having a little conversation. And so yeah, today I'm going to be talking a lot about all of that. I've prepared a list of good, great, bad, and ugly. And how I'm going to be using this Google Doc is I'm going to be going through all of, well, not all, that would take a while. As many as I can. I'm hoping to at least go to the combat update, which was in 2022. And so I'm basically going to be going through each update. I'm probably just going to quickly scroll through it, or just scroll to the bottom where the actual patch notes are easy to read, all the way at the bottom here, and just go okay, B catapult bomb, where do I put it, right? I'd probably just put that in bad, right? Because no one's going to use it, and the only people who are going to use it are trolls who just want to make raiding miserable, right? You know, obviously you guys have your own opinions as well, but yeah, that's going to be the aim of today. I want to start by saying that I think Rust really needs a progression change. I've been preaching this for a long time, but it is just you log into Rust, at least for players at my level, which there's a lot of players at my level, but you basically log into Rust and you get to tier 2, tier 3, finish your base even in the first day. And then there's just not really any other objectives other than to PvP people. But most people kind of just focus on their base and chill in their base. And there isn't a progression level past okay, we did first oil rig, we have tier 3, now what do we do, right? It's just you get there so fast. It comes to the point where there's not really an objective anymore. Cargo swings around, and if you get a lucky spawn, maybe you can head to harbor and you get some good PvP there. Or someone takes launch, maybe a big fight will happen there. But what I find myself really wishing for is just more things to do that bring people to those monuments. I think that when you open the map, at all times, there should be something at water treatment, there should be something at missile silo, something at sat dish. You open map and there's 3 places to go. No matter where you live, there's something to do. I think that having things to do, a hotspot for people to go to, no matter where you live, would create so much more activity on the server. And also, yeah, like you said, Bradley launch fell off. If launch pops off and you're not near launch, it's pointless to go. If oil rig is on the other side of the map, you're never really going there unless if you have a mini copter. If cargo spawns in and it's at the top and you're at the bottom, you're not doing anything there. So you're waiting 3 hours for cargo to spawn. Oh, it's unlucky spawn. Now you gotta wait another 3 hours for something interesting. First day monuments is Warzone. Second day barely anybody. Exactly. When I play a Monday server, I literally struggle to get a base down sometimes for the first 3 hours. And you go into Trainyard and there's people because they all need those shitty crates. They all need the couple of military crates to find their first gun. They need the recycler. What happens to Trainyard after 6 to 7 hours of the server? It's dead because everyone is either running, one clan is running the missile silo, someone's running excavator, and then everyone's doing labs and oil rig because that's where the best crate is. That's where the best crate loot is. So you're saying add a tier 4? No, I'm saying that every monument needs a massive revamp. I'm saying that there needs to be a reason to go to Trainyard. There needs to be an event where you kill AI or something to get a locked crate like Chinook. Or maybe it's a few elite crates, even some elite crates, man, something where it's okay, there's AI that spawned at this monument. Let's go fight them. Everyone goes, for a reason to get that chance of an AK. But if there's no chance of an AK or those high tier loot stashes at Trainyard, why the hell would you go there? Like later in the game when you already have a box of comps, like there's genuinely no reason to go unless if you're hoping to find some PvP and happen upon some poor guy recycling with a P2. Right? Like it's important to have those monuments for solos to go to, for small groups starting out and late in a server. They need like a low-key monument to recycle at so that they don't get jumped all the time. But we also need to make sure that there's options for those later game players, because at this point, later game is 6 hours into the wipe. Clans can get shit done within hours and have tier 3 within an hour. And at that point, all they're doing is running rig and then raiding people or waiting to get raided. Like, dude, the way this game plays is just sitting in your base waiting to get raided. Like, I'm guilty of this as well, because what else do you do? Some people don't have 6 hours on wipe night. Yeah, and that's totally fine. People progress differently. As someone who plays this game all the time and for long hours, like at least 8 hours, I don't play every day, but when I do play, I play for at least 8 hours a day. You just like progress so fast. And everyone around you who's also playing the game on the same level, which is most groups you run into, are also progressing at that same speed. There's a lot of learning to this game. It does take, I would say, like minimum 2 to 3k hours to really be like super comfortable. There's a lot of exploration that's required to know where the crates spawn and all of that. I think that a lot of people started playing around January 2021 or around the combat update, which was 2022, like May or something. And those players are now getting those hours that make them more experienced. And I feel like I'm feeling it now on servers. I've just been getting bored of the progression. I think that like there's no reason for Underwater Labs to have the loot it does when Trainyard is just terrible. Like, why is it that cargo ship, oil rig, Underwater Labs, like harbors that dock oil rig, all of this stuff is like on spawn beach. It's on the beach. There's almost no reason to go N14 and build inland. You get airfield in Radtown. Like, Radtown is the worst monument in the game, and it's almost one of the brand new ones. How is a monument that requires you to have 28 rad protection and like 5 crates getting added in 2024 or 2025? That's my main complaint about the game right now, is just how unalive a server would feel despite it being full pop. And I think progression is to blame. I think not having like events to go to is to blame. I think that when you see airdrop inbound and a plane goes over you and doesn't drop an airdrop because it drops in the snow and you're in the grass, it's just like, what's even the point of seeing that toast? Like, it should drop 2 to 3 airdrops on opposite sides of the map, because people in the snow aren't getting the one in the grass and the people in the grass aren't getting the one in the snow. But if you drop an airdrop for both of these sides of the map, then it gives people things to do. First thing that's going on in your brain is, okay, is a clan controlling that? Do they have a tower overlooking it? Is it even worth going? But if you see that AI spawned at Trainyard, you're going to be like, okay, maybe me with my like P2 could go to that and stand a chance. Maybe no one will show up and I get a crate, you know? The thought of maybe there's a chance that there won't be people incentivizes less skilled people to go, and then maybe there is a chance that there is people incentivizes more skilled and more experienced players to go. But if you have Bradley getting taken at launch, most people that are like lower tier are like, I'm not going to that, fuck that. But higher tier are all going to that. Or maybe they don't even bother either because they're like, okay, it's a roof camper who no way I'm going to that. The player base is the problem. Yeah, so how can you force that player base to do something? Right? How can you force the player base that is roof camping, sitting in base, looting their tier 1 monument and doing nothing else but progressing just as fast as if you were to build at a tier 3 monument? How do you force them to do something, otherwise they'll fall behind? Or how do you get people who are trying to have fun on the server to go and fight people and find player interaction while everyone else is sitting in base? I think it's by creating more reasons to go places. Because 6 hours into wipe, you have all the comps you need, so it's pointless to go farm a monument for comps. But if you go to a monument for PvP, if you go for the chance of an AK or explosives, it's more worth. It gets you out there. So launch and rigs, exactly. But even launch is dead sometimes. Like, rig is almost a guaranteed place to go, and it's in the freaking ocean, in the middle of nowhere. Like, realistically, you can only access that place with a tax of scrap with a boat, or running all the way over there to that shore and swimming over with diving gear. Like, if you make launch the same caliber of oil rig as in terms of like reason to go, holy shit, it would be insane. Like this door right here, this massive door, like you swipe red right here, this whole door opens and Bradley literally like strolls out and then you take it. I think that's a suggestion H had, and that's like, in my opinion, genius. Like that would actually, like, imagine like clans now have a reason to do puzzles and get red cards beyond like oil rig if they live there. Like, why the hell is Missile Silo as loaded as it is for blue card? It's a blue card and you get more stuff than you would from launch site. You have to navigate a green card swipe and a fuse, and then you have to run across launch, avoiding Bradley and players to get to this fuse, put it in, flick it, turn the switch, gain rads, so much rads that you need to drink water and take rad protection and use cloth, fight scientists, get to the top, and you got 2 or 3 elite crate spawns. And you get that. You get that. What the fuck is that? I would literally come up here, loot these crates after all that work, I'd run straight to this railing, and I'd fucking jump off. Silo has an ungodly amount of scientists. It's true, but you're underground, so people can't hear you shooting them. And it's also a controlled area. Like, if you know what you're doing, it's a lot better than launch site. I'd much rather fight those guys than these freaking guys hanging out on, like, scaffolding, shooting down at me through, like, a little pixel peek and dealing with that in darkness. When you say, like, monuments need specific loot, I kind of agree with that. I think that they should almost behave like biomes do, where you know you're gonna go to the snow to get sulfur, you know you're gonna get stone in the grass, but you can still find sulfur and stone in those monuments, right? In those biomes. But what if launch just had a little bit more pipes? You still get gears, you still get everything else, but it's like, I really need pipes. Then you're gonna go to launch. I really need springs. Airfield spawns them a little bit more. I think that would be really cool. Like, dude, when I was playing No Tech Tree on Blue Lagoon, I needed a med. So I went to water treatment because I know that there's some med crates that spawn there, found a med kit and recycled it to research a med. Like, is that not just like a super cool way to get people to go somewhere? So yeah, guys, I think that rounds up that section of our talk. Now I'm going to get into the juiciness of going through all of Rust's updates, figuring out the great, good, bad, and ugly. So yeah, first off, we got nerfed, buffed, and balanced. So these are the kind of updates that I want to see in this game. I'll start by saying that balancing what is currently in the game is what we need more than anything. And this update was actually pretty good. It did add some good changes. I think they could have done even more. Like there was some glaring ones that needed looking at, but overall it's pretty good. So B catapult bomb, I'm just gonna put that here, and I'm gonna put fucking Bs right below it, like B grenades, because I think that all this does is ruin performance during raids and make the raid just AIDS. Like, Bs barely do anything to you. They just terrorize your headset. They terrorize being able to see and terrorize your FPS. What I thought I was gonna do is it like forces people to leave their walls, you know? But you can kind of just like sit in them and it's just an annoying nuisance. And if they made it any worse, it would just be too good. Oil filter and soda can craftable silencers, and reskinning the current silencer into the military silencer. Military silencer, genius. Making the silencer uncraftable was huge because snow became just silencer whiteout ugliness. And it's still that way, of course, because people are going to be finding silencers, but it's way less, you know, or I can see it being way less due to this. Solo nerf though, it's true, but that's why they added the oil can silencer. I think that's good. And I think, honestly, the soda can silencer is like, might as well not even have it. Pay to win skins are an issue? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that is an ugly. That is a big ugly. I'll just put that in there now, but that is easily one of the worst things in the game. There's nothing worse than dying to just fully whited out players that you can't see. It's really sad. Like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the snow is literally like the color white of like 0000. Like, it's like literally the most white on earth. Like, my Google Doc page is literally the same color of fucking white pretty much. Yeah, when you have skins that are also the same color, it's literally like you just can't see them. So if they made it so that the snow looked like this more, like the whole ground looked like that or something, it would look kind of ugly, but we're like, you see like this grass, maybe the snow is that color. I don't know. That would probably be their only way of fixing pay to win at this point. We need a mech category. I think that actually is true. Make that just gray. and we'll throw in the targeting attachment. Okay, overhauling lighting. Great. Not being able to see outside of like an airfield tower in launch sites, or being in a monument, being in your base, and the like lighting just instantly gets dark was the worst thing ever. They created this problem and now they've added a solution, and now it's a great solution. You know, it never should have happened in the first place, but we're here and we were dealing it for like 2 years, and now it's finally gone. So indoor lighting is actually playable. Finally. Quicker LR 300 deploy. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap. So if you guys remember, LR got a buff. It got the implemented burst into it. Now it has a faster deploy. It had like a tighter change to its like to its recoil or its burst or its spread. I mean, I'm not sure exactly, but I remember LR got more of a buff than just this. And I still think that the LR is bad. LR needs more buffs, in my opinion. I would much rather pick up an AK. Like if I had an LR in my base and an AK in my base, I would still choose an AK. But the thing about the LR is that if you don't have a holo and a laser on it, it's not nearly as good. Like the only reason LR competes is because it has a laser on it and a holo. But without either, it's pretty bad. But if you give me an AK without anything on it, it's still really good, right? Okay, this is huge. Another example of creating a problem and then making a solution, and then everyone praises them for it. You know what? It's not even worthy of putting in great because it started as a problem that they fixed. But comp bow turrets, nerfed. That was the worst era of Rust ever. So very glad that they did that. But yeah, like I think the military silencer and the lighting were the two biggest changes out of this update. And everything else was either just kind of like good or meh. But like anything that involves bees, I think should just be not in the game. Okay guys, this is big update. So yeah, this was like one of Rust's biggest content patches in a long time, but I think that the jungle hype has already died down a lot, if not entirely. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. So added the jungle biome. The jungle biome was really impressive when I played it. It was a really cool thing to experience for the first wipe playing it. I loved seeing all of the new features and all of the new animals, and really cool to see an update like this. But it gets old fast, exactly. There's no reason to build in the jungle, other than if you're a solo trying to lay low, or a group trying to lay low and avoid getting much PvP. There is no reason to go there because monuments don't typically spawn in them. The AI is unforgiving. You can get randomly attacked by a snake, or a massive health tiger can just lock its eyes on you, and now you gotta shoot it, and you got no silencer now, so you're just giving away your position, and then you get ratted by a DB. Like, this is literally what I think about when I think of the jungle. I don't think about it being a great biome. I think about it being what I just described. And for that reason, I'm making the jungle meh. Because there is quite literally almost no reason to live there, but it's also very cool at the same time. Like I'm not gonna say that it's bad, but there's just no reason to go to the jungle. There's no way to like progress further in the jungle because monuments aren't that good in it, and everyone in there, their best weapon is freaking DB or SAR, so no one's roaming there. Yes, Robin, I like that. I like that it's more like position skill and like you can become the master of the jungle. But the issue is that who are you fighting? Most of the time, the jungle is going to be like this place where players are going to avoid rather than try and go into. Okay, we're now at the Ziggurat Monument. I think that this game desperately needs like more green to blue keycard rooms. We have 4, technically 3 monuments that you swipe green card to get blue. Satellite Dish, Sewer Branch, and both harbors. Like, I just feel like that is an extremely low amount. And then they added the Ziggurat and they added Radtown, and we still don't have them. We need more puzzle monuments, but those puzzles need to give you better loot. All of those like crates that you can just like get from outside of a puzzle, I feel like should be inside of a puzzle. Like obviously every monument should have crates on the outside of puzzle rooms, but You know what I mean. Ziggurat, though. Like, it's a cool monument, man. It doesn't have many crates. I think this is just another meh. It's not really good or bad. I just think it's kind of meh. I mean, Recycler is great, but I talked to Facepunch before it got added. I'm like, yo, you guys adding a Recycler or anything to this? And they're like, it's not currently planned. And thank God they added a Recycler, because that place, if it didn't have a Recycler, would be utterly useless. It's the only monument you can get the blowpipe. Yeah, and the blowpipe is going straight to bad, bro. Blowpipe is going straight to bad. I think that the incapacitate darts were like terrible, like really bad when they completely made you blind. And now it's just another thing, like the bee grenades. It's just an annoying thing to deal with. Now it just makes your vision blurry and slows you down, and it's just like AIDS. It just creates pain. Why not just use a crossbow? Like, do you use a blowpipe over a crossbow? So yeah, I'm leaving blowpipe there. Jungle remnants monuments. I think it adds a lot of vibes to the jungle. I think there's nothing wrong with them particularly, but like, you know, since the jungle isn't like game changing at all, it's just another like meh thing. Boomerang. Like, I think that it would be so cool if the boomerang was needed to like do certain monuments. Like you had to throw it around a corner and it would hit a switch. If they did stuff like that, it would be really cool, but the boomerang doesn't even really work properly. Like, if you're chasing someone and you throw a boomerang at them, it just misses you while you're running. You have to be completely standing still to catch it again. And also, it's literally unplayable because a boomerang makes the sound and it looks like it's made of metal, but it costs wood to craft. So because it's literally unplayable, it's going in bad. Snakes, crocodiles, tigers, panthers. I wish there was just like a cool category, but the only reason they're in meh is because the jungle biome is in meh. Like, I just feel like jungle animals are also just another meh because they haven't done anything to change the game. They're cool looking, but they're not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. Like, if they gave you like a special type of pelt to make different armor that was like interesting, then maybe that would make it good. So yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys agree with where I've like put the jungle and sort of all of its stuff here? Like, maybe I'm missing completely with how I feel about the jungle, but I just generally don't think it's good or bad. I had fun with it for the first wipe I played it, but now that it's going to be in the game forever, it's like the jungle is the thing that I avoid like the plague now. Oh my god, the water well vendor. Okay, so the concept of a water well vendor is good, but its implementation is bad. Like, here's what I think about it. I think that the water well vendor is good because it makes people go somewhere new and it gets you items that you may need, but it spawns in way too quickly. It spawns in on wipe, which means that you can spawn in, get scrap, and buy a P2. I think it would be cool if he asked for something other than scrap. I completely agree with that. What if he's asking for rad pills and he gives you a gun? That would be so freaking cool. He's asking for berries, he's asking for corn, he's asking for stuff like that. Like, people who are farming can go and take the stuff that they farm and get something cool like a SAR. That would be so cool. And then you don't even have to make it so that he doesn't spawn in right away, because no one's gonna have 40 red berries on wipe. But like, within a couple of hours or a few hours, maybe they'll have 40 red berries. And now if you're playing as a farmer, which takes hours, you're also progressing to get a gun from the vendor. That would make him so good. Maybe those farmers will actually roam. Okay, premium servers. Premium servers is a great change. I think that will go in the great section. Everyone loves less cheaters, anything to be able to get less cheaters. Not to say that it's completely spotless, but it's a clear sign that they are trying things to get less cheaters in wipes. Now, when people first load up the game, they see premium before they see other servers, so their experience will be better. It is noticeably better, so I think it's a great change. Crafting updates. This was a huge one. I actually really was excited about this. Okay, so we finally get tier 2 cooking after begging for ages. At least I know I was, I know my girlfriend was, I know people like Shadowfrex were, I don't know how many other people were, but this is awesome. Crafting update. Cooking workbench. I don't know if that's a great or a good change, the cooking workbench. Like, is it game-changing amazing? No. I think that it's a good change. But it brought me back to the game. Yeah, exactly. Like, these are the kind of things that get people excited about. Engineering workbench. I think the engineering workbench is actually a great change, especially if they lean into it further and make it so that tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, like those tech trees, like if they change the tech tree system even more and like throw garage door and some deployables into the engineering workbench and remove guns and being able to tech tree at all in the other workbenches, engineering workbench could go even further and really stand out as a great change. But I do not like some of the features of the engineering workbench. I don't like how it costs so much more to get car parts now, because you have to go through like all of the tier 1 and tier 2 parts to get to tier 3 parts. It's so expensive to get to camper van, and also it's not like default. You have to learn it. Okay, on second thought, I'm starting to rethink this. As an electrician, I hate the engineering bench. Tier 1 used to be fast track to base lighting. Now it's a bloated path. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would put it in then. I think it can be a good or a great change, but they need to work on it more. It's a has potential change. Okay, I'll throw it in meh then. Okay, armor slots. This is a pretty big change, like the armor slots and the craftable inserts. This is a pretty big thing and like a discussion that people either like or they don't like. In my opinion, I like it. And the reason I like it is because I like variable stats to armor, to weapons, whatever. I love variable stats. And so when I loot someone now, and it was like some primitive guy with a P2 and I have like a better gun, and I loot his body, now I'm like taking his wooden pants if they have 3 slots, because I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I'm not going to go as far to say that this is a great change, but I will say that it's a good change. Armor slot, armor, and armor plates. Yeah, okay. I think those are the main things from the crafting update. Oh no, primitive. Here we go, guys. All right, primitive game mode. Like, I can respect people who like a primitive game mode, but in my opinion, it wasn't a good use of resources. I'm gonna put it here. In meh. Bad use of resources. It's just like so much time was spent into making this game mode that I think could have been spent elsewhere. Like, I'm not gonna be a little bitch and say that it's bad, because I want to say that it's bad, but I've never played it. I've never had interest in doing it. I know some people might like that gameplay. Just like how I'm not going to say that softcore mode is bad. I might even go as far to say that softcore mode is good for people learning the game. Yeah, it's definitely not good or bad. Battering ram has definitely found its way into the meta. The only reason anyone uses it is because you find it. I think it's a little OP to be able to raid bases with nothing but high qual. That's the thing. Yeah, like if you place a battering ram, you can get through a base with 15 high qual or like 20 high qual by repairing it like once, because it starts as repaired. HQM is expensive, yeah, but you know what's more expensive is all of the BPs required to learn satchel charge, all the sulfur required to use satchel charge, the BPs required for rockets, C4, tier 3. But with battering ram, you can find that in a military crate, slap it down, and use some high qual right away. So like, there's been times where I'm really happy to have the battering ram, but I think I'm gonna put battering ram in bad category. Even though I've had fun with it and I've enjoyed raiding with it, at the end of the day, I got to think about it in the long run. Using only high qual to raid a base, especially since you can just find it in a crate, is too much. Added 4-shot mini crossbow. Okay, so I think the hand crossbow is low-key bad, mainly because of its iron sight, and also its drop is horrendous. It's only really good with like a shield. You actually still need like so many shots. Like, if you're close enough to use a hand crossbow, you might as well just use a nail gun. You might as well just run crossbow nail gun, shoot the crossbow, switch to nail gun. It's still a better combo. So hand crossbow is bad. Wait, horses now increase comfort from a fire when in proximity? What? So if you're solo with a horse, he's now your best friend and you can place a campfire down and get higher comfort? I am learning from this right now. What? True! I can test! That's why I'm here! I keep forgetting that! So, let's give this a go, guys. Campfire, light. So usually it's 50%. No way! No way! What the? What the? You can chill with the horse and get 100% comfort. I did not know this. You can even sit on it. Friend good. Okay, wait. What about if you're like in your base, right? Like what if you're in your base, chilling. You light the campfire, right? And usually I'm at 50. Just want to make sure. Yeah, and then you pull up your horse. Put it up to the wall. Oh my god. Someone tell William. I'm literally putting a horse stable on the outside of my campfire when I'm solo. I'm actually doing this next time I solo. I'm doing that today. I think that's pretty much everything from the primitive update. Okay, we're on page 2, guys. I believe page 7 is where the combat update is. So let's see if we can get there. Polish in progress. Wolf animation. Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna say the wolf AI changes are bad from a gameplay perspective, but like kind of cool from a realistic perspective. Like how far they aggro range, way too far. I'm like, I will be on the other side of a mountain. I'll hear it howl and go like, oh, someone's getting attacked. And then it'll come for me from like over 80 meters away. I'm like, dude, seriously? Yeah, I think that the animations and stuff, like, it's cool to see the AI get so advanced, but it's so annoying to deal with. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this one. Let's try and move through these. Okay, armed and animated. Oh, this is gonna be kind of cool. All right, tier 1 SMG. All right. I mean, come on. Like, the tier 1 SMG is so bad. Like, it is so bad. Like, I remember when I first played with this, it was fun because it was new. But, like, it is just garbage. Like, they need to add a little bit more damage to it or something. I don't know exactly, but it definitely... It needs a change. It's really bad. Tier 3 SKS... Dude, I might even say this is a great change. I think I'm gonna do it. I don't care what anyone says. The SKS is a great change because we needed a tier 3 craftable weapon, and this was like perfect. Do you guys remember that they were gonna make it a SAR skin, and everyone was uproar about it? They were furious about that being a SAR skin, and I hope that they changed their mind because we were so mad about it. And then they made it an actual gun. And thank God, because it is so good. We needed this gun. It filled like a gap that needed to be filled. And overall, huge change. This is probably one of the best guns they've added to the game in the last few years. Okay, I don't think there's much else in this update. So, okay, this was world update as in rocks. Okay, this is another big one. World update. I don't know why this is the first thing, but added handheld diver propulsion vehicle. That is literally just meh. Has anyone used this? Okay, how much does it cost to craft one? Let me test out the DPV, guys. I just don't like how you have to place it. Like, if it was like something that you always hold, you know, like an actual item, I feel like it would be way better. But the reason I don't like it is because, like, if you're building blocked, you can't place it. Oh my god, it's fucking too shallow. See what I mean, chat? Oh my. Alright, this is already dog shit. Chat, I'm not convinced. I mean, it's fun. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm playing Subnautica and it's like cool and all, but I'd rather have slightly slower speed and be able to shoot like spear gun and stuff, or have the faster speed and use a rowboat. And then wait, like, what does it cost to craft? Nah. 15 high qual and a precious tech trash? No. No. I am genuinely gonna say with that crafting cost that this thing is straight up bad. It needs a buff. Legacy wood piles. Oh, that's going in the great section. Wood nodes are going in the great section. Huge change. I think everyone loves those. I swear to God, if I hear anyone say, well, it buffs clans, I'm banning you from the chat. Radtown Monument. Oh, I'm so excited to cook this monument, bro. All right, we kind of talked about Radtown today, but my honest opinion is despite the, what, 1 or 2 diesel fuel that spawns here, this monument sucks. So 1, 2, wow, military crate. So 3 crate, and then I think there's one more in here. There sometimes there's one in here. Okay, so 3 or 4 crate spawns in the main building. Which, by the way, the main building requires you to have like 28 rad protection. You need more rad protection than launch site to enter this fucking monument. This building doesn't have a single crate. A lot of unutilized rooms in this building. It looks much bigger than it actually is. Not a single crate. Maybe there is one and it's not spawning. I think one spawns in here somewhere, yeah. So basically what I'm trying to say is that there's probably like 10 crate spawns across this whole monument. It costs a lot of rad protection in order to get in here. It has a recycler, so that's a good thing, and it's a fairly, like, hidden one. And it's fun to PvP in, but getting the people to get in here in PvP is the part that's hard. And a lot of the time, you're going to get easily grubbed. This monument, to make it good, needs this to be an active car lift, another car lift place, and throw a green card room right here. Green to blue card, car lift, Radtown is instantly way better. All these barrels are pretty cool. Maybe some crude or something. Even like a couple more crate spawns. And I would say that this monument is great. Well, if they do those 2 things and the puzzle has more crates, then it's good. And I want like a good puzzle, bro. I want another like sewer branch puzzle that goes underground and shit. I don't know. Like, I don't want some lazy ass harbor puzzle that has like 1 or 2 mill crates. They need to make it so that there's a car lift and a green card, and then Radtown is instantly good. And most importantly, there needs to be less rads in Radtown. I know it goes against the name, rename it or something. And I know it's like a nod to like an old ass monument in the game, but the amount of rads required to enter the recycler room is ridiculous. And it makes no sense for a monument with this kind of loot in it. And you know what would make this really cool? Is if Chinook crate dropped right in the middle of it. That would be epic. Bad. Radtown is bad. Okay, now we're getting to the whole reason this is called the world update. I don't know why these aren't at the top. New cliffs added to procedural. Great. Holy shit, this is a great update. Massive W. New cliffs that are actually climbable, not these massive unscalable rocks. Amazing. New coastal rocks and revamped rock formations. I think also great. It was great getting back the God Rock, getting back Anvil Rock, these nostalgic rock formations, getting some new rocks as well, the Throne Rock and the Mini God Rock. In my opinion, one of my favorite ways to build bases in this game is freehanding shit and building and these rocks and stuff like that. Adding these formations that can change a little bit depending on the terrain was a great update. Yeah, these arch rocks are great. Some of them are a little bit unrateable, I won't lie, but it's okay having a couple of those on the map that are a little unrateable. Look at this. Look, this God Rock is so perfect for like a smaller group. And it ends right. Oh my, wow. What an OP build spot. Holy Jesus. You put a tower on this and then you build in here right next to Dome. That's insane. What else is in this update, guys? Okay. I think there's nothing else really. Cool. Time to kill. I'm pretty sure this was like not a very big update. It was like the digital clock was the biggest thing. Oh, huge update. Okay. Now, patrol helicopter. Let me tell you guys about something, all right? So, patrol helicopter, those changes come in 2 parts. It drops at a monument, and it flees when you shoot it too much. Great change. Helicopter crashing at monuments. I think is a great change because now people can't just take it in their compound right outside their base. It crashing at a monument gives everyone a chance to contest it. Great change. Helicopter fleeing when you shoot it is a ugly change. It is so bad. Like, I don't know how they can hit so hard and miss so hard on the same patch. Let me run you guys through a scenario here. Helicopter is a event that you have to shoot in order to take it down. But if you shoot it too much, it flies away. Explain this to me. That's why you play Blue Lagoon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do not have the fleeing option on Blue Lagoon. It does not flee when you shoot it because that's stupid. The way you take Heli right now is to let it rocket your base multiple times to the point where it will actually destroy your base, like destroy walls. Like before, you would be just kind of bad at taking Heli or using tier 2 weapons, and you might like lose half of your base because of it. Now you have to lose your base, and you have to take a bunch of damage, and you have to like literally hold yourself back. It is an extremely unfun event to do now. And I have been screaming this from the hilltops to Face Punch, and they have showed every intention to not change it. Like, I remember asking them why, and they were like, yeah, well, the intention is to now, we want you to like chase it down. We want you to like follow it and like chase it down. And it's like, what? So not only do I need a mini copter, but chasing Heli down, like, what is it? What am I, fucking James Bond? I don't get that at all. I'm just gonna throw it right here, road scientists. No way they did this. No way they did this. Typing quit grass into the console will no longer quit the game. You know how many people fell for that? And they finally had to just change it. That is hilarious. I did not know they did that. I don't think there's anything else here. Next. All right, this is a pretty big update here. Road Renegades. Motorbikes. I honestly don't know where to put motorbikes and pedal bikes. I don't think they're great, but I'm between good or meh. Where are we at, guys? Moto's good, bike's bad. Yep, I expected that. And I agree. Motorcycles are good, but bikes are bad. And the reason for that, well, I wouldn't even say bad. I would just say meh. I think that the reason for that is because bikes may be quieter, but because you don't have that speed, and because you're like, yeah, very exposed, it's very easy to get picked off. And also, they run out of stamina very quickly. Yeah, it's just use a horse. Like, the bikes definitely need a lot more stamina, and they'll be a little bit better. And also, they need to not take damage as easily, because as soon as they lose some durability, they're, like, trash. Okay. Lastly, Traveling Vendor. Traveling Vendor is, in my opinion, kind of bad right now, because of how good, like, the high quality trades are. Some of it's like really cheap offers. I think that Traveling Vendor is good mixed in with the dynamic pricing, because now you can get a jackhammer for like 90 scrap. That I agree with. But things like how much crazy amount of high quality you can get. Let's see what the Traveling Vendor... Jesus. Alright, so for example, this is ass, but for someone who's starting out on the server, maybe a pump for 50 scrap is pretty nice, or a custom for 140. This is a balanced Traveling Vendor. I'd say that's not bad. Okay, so this is where it starts to get a little broken. 50 high qual for less than 100 scrap. Insane. I think that it would be a lot better. Like, Traveling Vendor is a good thing if this trade is maxed out at like 2. I feel like everything here is fine to be in a Traveling Vendor, and the prices are honestly fine, but it's the high qual part that makes it iffy. I'm gonna put it at good, but I'm going to put the high qual trade at bad. Okay, yeah, I think that's it with that. Seismic Sensor, great change. Seismic Sensor is literally this game's attempt at making offline raids less of a thing. At least, like, they start offline and then you have to wake up at like 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. I hate what it's done to my lifestyle, but also it's allowed me to actually get the content instead of just waking up going like, we got offline to GG's. When Rust Plus actually works, it's amazing, but Seismic Sensor is a great update for those who are able to wake up to defend. But yeah, I understand most people have lives and it's not very useful for them, but for me, it's a great change. I don't know if there's anything else really worth looking at. This was a very chill update. Oh yeah, Meta Madness. I remember like everyone saying like Meta Madness was like a joke, and I like agreed with that. Tier 2 and Tier 3 workbenches now cost an additional 10 to 20% scrap per purchase. Overall, I don't think this changed anything. this 10%, 20% thing. I think the game is played the exact same way. I'm going to put it in bad because it just, I feel like it didn't do anything other than like hurt certain teams and certain players. Okay, wait. Okay. There's actually some big ones in the improvements area. Safe zone recyclers yield 20% less resources than before and take 8 seconds per cycle. Good? Maybe even great. Safe zone recycler nerfs. Radtown recycling buff, though. Is that necessary? Radtown recyclers giving more, I think, is actually bad. The nerf in safe zone is enough incentive for me to go to the Radtown anyway. Buff just the time it takes to recycle in Radtown and not the output. I remember this was the start of loot feeling so, like, saturated, was this update. The buff came with the nerf, and I was like, this isn't even necessary. Like, I was already not going to go to safe zone because I didn't want to get less. Yeah, like, if you want to make tier 3 a little bit buffed, like a recycler behind like a launch building that gives 25%, that could be crazy cool. But I think that the monument recycler buffs are unneeded because the safe zone recycler got nerfed. Tech trash, reduce cost, nah, it doesn't really matter. I already talked about LR, these changes not really making it any better. Wait, I actually want to see what was said about the LR. LR tweaks. This should now be the best in class AR. They didn't even say A. They said the. They said the best in class AR. Bruh. That shit is buns still. The only way it's good is if you put a hollow sight and a laser on it. And then even then it still falls short. I never realized that. This is what's been like stamped in my brain like PTSD ever since they made this change. Whenever I like use the LR, I just think the best in class AR like in my head. I don't know if there's really anything else in here. Cargo ship will now, dude, this should be all the way at the top, tip top. How is that just randomly in the middle? Okay, so cargo ship docking is the easiest thing to put on the grate section. Cargo ship docking is probably the biggest great part of this list so far because this literally made an event that was borderline uncounterable and getting pretty much dead to the most alive it's ever been. And it's been really fun fighting at cargo lately. It kind of sucks that, like, you know, you have to go to this tier 1 monument in order to get onto it. So it incentivizes like people to build on beach even more. But like, imagine if there was like a split in every map and there was a harbor in the middle of the map. That would be insane. I think they should give cargo rads. I saw someone say that and I saw some people disagreeing, but I actually do kind of agree, mainly because of the nakeds that are just ratting it. And there are scientists on cargo, and it could be transporting nuclear waste or something, so it wouldn't be that far-fetched to give it rads. Just like enough where you only need like 10 rads to get on. It's just like the nakeds with rocks climbing on that are like annoying. A naked with a Yoka should not be going to one of the top events in the game. 50 fresh spawns nakeds just sprinting full speed to cargo. Exactly. Imagine just spawning in and just going straight to that. Okay. So that's meta madness. Waves of change. Updated harbor and cargo, but then the cargo docking was in the other one. So yeah, cargo ship docking was in waves of change. So waves of change was huge. Added minigun. I think it's ugly, guys. I think the minigun is ugly. I don't even think it's meh. I don't even think it's bad. I think it's ugly. The reason I say this is because it has too many things that are hard nerfing it. It's a good recycle, that's true. But like, how sad is that you get a gun and then you recycle it? The reason it's so bad is because it slows you down. It takes a long time to wind up. You have to reload it at a workbench. It's unrepairable. It doesn't do headshot damage. That's 5 things already. Military flamethrower. Ah, dude. So sad, but once again, it's ugly. Doesn't raid good. You're not going to be using that to kill anybody. Yeah, good for low grade. Unload it and take its stuff and then recycle it. It's just another thing that you just... It's so sad. It is fun. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's super fun, but I don't think there's really anything else going on in here. All right. Page 4. We're going. We're moving it, chat. We're moving it. Lighting the way. This was actually new lights or night light. Great change. Nighttime is brighter. You can see directly in front of you. Absolutely amazing. Exactly. Great change. For some reason, it's not as good as it was when it came out. Yeah, they really need to revert that. We need to crash out at them on Twitter, guys. Bags to riches. Yes. Okay. Huge up. I thought this was a January update. Added metal detector. I know Elena would put this in good. I'm just gonna put this in meh. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting to it, guys. Don't worry. Small backpack, large backpack. Great changes. Both backpacks deserve to be in the great area. That is right under cargo ship docking as the second best thing in the great section, in my opinion. I think it goes like cargo ship docking, backpacks, maybe like SKS, and then like recycler nerfs. Yeah, like backpacks is like the second best thing in this list. I don't think there's anything else in this. Next, guys, we're getting far in this. Oh. Okay, we'll start with the first thing in the list, parachutes. I actually like parachutes. I will put parachutes at good. Now, the attack helicopter. The attack helicopter is going straight to ugly, bro. I have hated this thing from the day it was added and ever since. It is just, when you see this thing in the air, you just can't help but just feel nothing but just anger and sadness all at the same time, because you're like, great, now my life's gonna be miserable. I love it. When you're in an attack heli, I'm sure you're having a great time, but when you're not in an attack heli and you're just trying to like play the game, it's miserable. The only way attack helis like get destroyed is if you have like an HMLMG with fire ammo. It doesn't even matter if you have the only thing they added to the game that nerfs it, which is the homing missile launcher, because you just shoot a flare and you don't get hit. It has this massive scrap cost, so only certain types of people are getting it. I think you know who I'm talking about. And yeah, those people get to dominate the server even more than they do, even though they have numbers. And I think it should be removed from the game. It would make the game better as a result. Updated pump jack. Does this mean that this is when they added the pump jack in monuments? Because if so, that's a big change. Pump jack being able to use diesel to get low grade and crude was a great change. All right, so airborne update overall, kind of an L. Deep sea. The ferry terminal monument, I actually really like. I think ferry terminal is good. Is it great though? Good, definitely not great. Yeah, I agree. It's not a game changer or anything. New drivable tugboat. Wow. I don't know how I feel about tugboat, man. I feel like at first I was like, are you serious with this? It was fun to play with, you know, to like try it out. And then it's just so easy for it to get like submarine torpedoed. I think this is like either a meh or bad. I think that it's like kind of a meh thing. Isn't it crazy? Like something this huge is just meh. What else was like a huge thing? Jungle biome being meh. It is literally meh. Bags to battles. Is this when they added the new like model? Oh god, no longer than 15 respawn options. I think 15 is too little. I think 20 is actually really good. And the reason I say that is because your base, if you have like a decent base, takes up like 4 or 5 respawn points. It's got good things about it. It's got pros and cons. So 15 bag limit might just be a meh thing. It's especially annoying when you like are at your bag limit and you're trying to place bags for a friend. Okay. I don't think there's anything else in this. Okay. Rust. Trying to tune into a little bit of lore here. New monument, missile silo. Missile silo is a busted ass monument, but it's also a very fun monument and it's good. I think that it's kind of broken for blue card. Almost should be red card, but I think overall it's a good thing. It does only have one exit, so it's very easy to get camped. So I think that it's like overall a good monument. I think that's pretty much it from the missile silo update. Ooh, wait, this is a huge update. Industrial. Yeah, everything industrial goes straight into great. This is all great stuff to have in the game. Auto sorting, auto smelting, auto crafting. Really just a great update. Electric furnace. Amazing. Straight into the great category. And then the rest I just consider industrial. It's great. I don't think there's really anything else going on there. Hardcore game mode. Okay, this was a pretty big update at the time. So hardcore game mode was a great idea, bad execution. There was so many good changes, like a max of a certain amount of sleeping bags, not being able to use the map was so cool. No safe zones was so cool. Tech tree, I thought, wasn't tech tree disabled? I don't know. But exploring Rust without a map was just, it felt so cool when you would find something that you're like, holy shit, no one else knows about this. Yeah, but obviously it failed because no one played it, and they just, I just don't think they did enough to make it interesting. So unfortunately, it was bad. Doesn't look like there's much else other than that. Trainyard Unloading. Above ground railroad connecting to train yard. So yeah, coaling tower is honestly pretty ugly. I think coaling tower is ugly because it's a lot of work to do this. You have to go around the entire map and you have to jump out of your train like a bozo and like attach them and do all this shit. And then you need to take it to train yard and you make all this sound and you need to sit there and unload them. And then you got nakeds like unplugging them and griefing you, all for like stuff that you could get in the same amount of time, if not less. And it would be a lot safer with a jackhammer. Yeah, I think that the train yard unloading, I'll just name it that, is actually ugly and needs major buffs. But it's like a cool way to farm. It sounds interesting. But yeah, exactly. In reality, it sucks. Molotov. That's actually huge. Molotov is a great addition. Okay, I don't think there's much else other than that, chat. Oh my god, we did it, guys. We made it to the combat update. This is going to be the end of today because I've already been at this for 4 hours and 15 minutes. And I said I would stop when I got here. So this is like Rust's biggest update, bro. Scientist to launch site, terrible. That's an ugly because launch site was already bad. I remember everyone complaining about launch site monument and then they just added the scientists. That was just completely bricked. Okay, so now we're just going to go to the final thing, updated recoil. I think that the recoil update was just good. Now let me explain why I'm putting it in good instead of meh, bad, ugly, or great. When I was playing this game before the recoil update, it was actually pretty miserable when it came to long-range fights because you either needed to dedicate your life to learning the recoil in aim train servers, which wasn't even the real game, or most of the time you're most likely running into scripters. It just sucked because you couldn't tell if someone was cheating or not. At least when you get beamed, you're like, okay, that guy is most likely cheating. But before, you just kind of had to accept that the guy could be good and could literally triple headshot you from 300 meters with an MP5. I think that what they did, if you script now, like, you're just kind of a joke. Like, I mean, like, why are you even doing that? Because like the actual aim cone is what's randomized. So you're just kind of like a pleb if you're scripting these days. But before, it was like game changing if you were scripting. If you were scripting in the old recoil, it was literally game changing. That was a huge reason why it sucked. But it also obviously was not friendly at all to players who were trying to play the game and learn. When your wall to play the game was like thousands of hours in order to compete, it was pretty rough. Like, I feel like now you could like actually kind of stand a chance with like 1K hours, even 2K hours. But yeah, it was just like an extremely unfriendly recoil for newer players. And I think the new recoil, in my opinion, is still not good enough. That's why it's not great. I think that what they needed to do was try and do a learnable recoil that was easier so that there's still some skill ceiling, or change it up or something, some kind of middle ground. There was definitely a time in Rust before the recoil update that I was like, we need a recoil update. And I feel like I'm almost feeling the same way nowadays with this current recoil update, where it's just like, okay, now I'm getting beamed in the same amount of time as I was before. So yeah, guys, here it is. This is like from current day and until June 2022. This is what the list is looking like. I might do this again and continue the list or something in the future. I don't know. So I'll just keep the dock, of course, but and continue off from here. Yeah, overall, looks like we've had a lot of good updates. Like, look at this. We've had a pretty solid amount of just good updates. There's been a pretty good amount of ugly updates, a lot more great updates though, and a solid amount that didn't need to get in the game at all. Like pretty much everything in meh and bad didn't need to be added to the game, or the reason why it's here now is because it needs to get updated and it needs to get changed. And everything in ugly does not stand a chance. It needs to get removed, or it needs like massive changes. Everything in good, obviously good. Everything in great, don't touch it. But yeah, I like how this list came together.